Hey guys, and welcome to the video. We're going to be discussing a rumour that the writers for the upcoming Marvel Avengers projects have been removed. So grab your costume and assemble as we fly into this Marvel news. But before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and stay up to date with all of the movie news going on around here. So guys, we're going to take a look at this Bounding Into Comics article. Quantumania and Loki writers reportedly removed from Avengers Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars movies. So, a new rumour claims that both Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania writer Jeff Loveness and Loki writer Michael Waldron have been removed from working on the upcoming Avengers Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars films. Back in October, it was revealed by Deadline that Loki and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness writer Michael Waldron had been tapped by Marvel Studios to write Avengers Secret Wars. In fact, Deadline noted in March 2023 that Waldron even renewed his deal with Disney and Marvel Studios despite CEO Bob Iger noting the poor quality of Marvel Studios' recent outings. Yeah, so Disney has been a bit up and down recently, guys. They've, their track records going a bit down the pan, if you like. The last few Marvel films, they've been okay. They've not been the best, and obviously the Marvel TV shows that have been streaming on Disney Plus as well. Some of them have not been received so well. So Disney has a lot to do to gain the confidence back of the audience. Obviously, the latest phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe hasn't been that well received either. It's been a bit kind of all over the place. So hopefully they can get things back on track with these Avengers films. But losing the writers obviously isn't a good thing. So the outlet had previously reported that Loveness would write Kang Dynasty in September 2022. It appears that both of them might be out of their duties, as the latest rumour is to be believed. This latest rumour comes from Scooper My Time to Shine H on X. The user posted, quote, "No screenwriters will be hired for Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars until the strikes are over, but it should be Phil Lord and Christopher Miller." So this is the post here. So we're going to hop over to X, guys. We're going to have a look at this post, and then we're going to have a look at some of the comments on the post from the community. So guys, over here on X or Twitter, whichever you prefer to call it, My Time to Shine Hello says, "No screenwriters will be hired for Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars until the strikes are over, but it should be Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. I'm pretty sure I'm not the first person to suggest them, and for good reason. In Across the Spider-Verse, they handled 280 variations of Spider-Man, 95 of which are unique and named characters, plus the villain, the action scenes, character development, humor, drama, romance, and of course the concept of a multiverse. They're perfect." Yeah, I mean, he's got a super valid point there. If you can handle that many variations of different characters within a superhero cinematic universe, and you can make a cohesive narrative that everybody loves and enjoys, then maybe they are the right people to come over to the Avengers movie. I think he's got a really good point there. But let's have a look at what some of the community have to say. Or just bring back the Russos. I don't want them back. Time for someone to take charge. Time for someone new to take charge, sorry. I'll have something on that soon. So he's obviously got the inside scoop about the Russos or someone coming over to the Avengers. What about Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely? Alas, when Marvel was great. No, time for new creatives. Yeah, that's the thing, guys. You don't want to have writers or directors on projects for too long within Marvel because it becomes stagnant. We get seeing the same thing over and over again. It's good to bring in new creatives, have new fresh takes on different things. The movies feel different from each other rather than just this kind of cookie cutter approach where it's the same creatives making different movies, but it feels the same, if you get what I mean. So I'd rather want them to have full creative freedom to finish their vision on Spider-Verse trilogy, especially with the delay then he tossed into the Marvel machine, where one bad project ruins your perception with the fans, a la Taika Waititi. Couldn't agree more. I do hope the studio does the right thing. Let's have a look. Yeah, but I think handling characters in animation and live action are two different things. It's kind of easy in animation. No, I don't really think it is two different things, really, because if you're focusing on if you're focusing on character development, character motivation, storyline, plots, and all this kind of stuff, then whether it's animation or live action, you can translate those things across either way. So it doesn't really matter. Like visuals, like you can change the visuals, but like it's the story, the character development, and all that kind of stuff that's the most important thing. And you can transfer that from animation to live action easily, surely. So we'll read a few more, guys. How about Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy? Let me know after Deadpool 3. Yeah, right. Did no one else see the reports from artists on ATSV? They're awful, demanding managers. They demand finished sequences before cutting them, which is hard enough on animation. Months of work cast aside. Imagine that with human actors. Yeah, so apparently this person here saying that they're hard to work with. Obviously, what goes on behind the scenes, we're not really privy to that kind of stuff, so it's kind of hard to make comments on that. As long as Marvel gives them the creative freedom to do what they do, Marvel has driven away several terrific writers and directors by adding too many restrictions, and it's been why Phase 4 hasn't done so well. Yeah, Phase 4 has been a bit of a mess. There's no sort of leading character. There's no overarching story that's going in a certain direction, like there were with the earlier phases. And it's kind of been all over the place, and I think that's why people have been a bit disenfranchised with it at the moment. But yeah, anyway, guys, so let's hop back over to the article and continue to see what it has to say. So, continuing with the article, when questioned if both Loveness and Waldron were off of Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, My Time to Shine, hello, responded with yes. As you can see down here, there was the Twitter post where someone said, so are you saying that Loveness and Waldron are off Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars? And he just responds, yes. So he's obviously got some sort of insider information or a contact within the industry who's feeding him this information. And he seems to be pretty adamant that the writers are now off of those two projects. So My Time to Shine, H, would not only be the only scooper to make this claim. Casey Walsh was also questioned whether or not Loveness and Waldron were out, and the scooper responded, yeah, from what I've heard. And obviously we can see the Twitter post here. So Casey, is it true that Loveness and Waldron are off Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars? And he said, yeah, from what I've heard. So this is not the first time that the rumour circulated around Loveness being removed from Kang Dynasty. Scooper Jeff Snyder reported back in May during an appearance on John Rocha's The Hot Mic Show. Quote, this is unconfirmed. My source is saying that Jeff Loveness is off of Kang Dynasty and that he fell off before the strike. When asked what this meant, Snyder responded, quote, Jeff Loveness, deserved or not, got a lot of criticism for his scripts, and yes, it sounds like they are going in another direction from what my source says. Yeah, but this is good, guys, because if he has got a lot of criticism about his scripts, at least Disney are doing something about it. If they're not happy with the scripts, instead of just going forward with it, they've obviously taken him off the project. They're saying they're not happy with it. They want to set the quality bar at a certain level. And I kind of understand that to a certain point. But obviously it's behind the scenes stuff, guys. We're not really sure what happened, so we just have to guess on that. The rumor comes as nearly all Marvel Studios and Walt Disney Company theatrical offering. Sorry, let me start again. The rumor comes as nearly all Marvel Studios and Walt Disney Company's theatrical offerings have floundered at the box office. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania only grossed $463.6 million worldwide. The film had an estimated production budget of $200 million, meaning it needed at least $500 million to break even. It's likely that Marvel Studios lost around $21.8 million on the film. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 likely made money from Marvel Studios with a worldwide gross of $844.5 million and a production budget of $250 million. Its break-even was $625 million. With a theatrical split, Marvel Studios likely earned $131.7 million. However, the film failed to outperform Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 without even adjusting for inflation. The second film grossed $869 million back in 2017. It also failed to best the first Guardians of the Galaxy film when you adjust for inflation. The film grossed $770.8 million in 2014, which is now around $995.4 million. Yeah, but that first Guardians of the Galaxy, man, that was such a great film. Like, the music was on point. All the characters met up with each other for the first time. It was such a great thing. It was a fresh new IP. No one knew what it was. And the fact that it still made loads of money was just great. It's a testament to how popular Marvel was back in that phase. But yeah, the first Guardians, man, is such a good movie. While there do appear to be a lot of changes happening at Marvel Studios when it comes to who is writing the scripts, it's unlikely to affect the final projects, given Disney CEO Bob Iger still made it apparent they will no longer be telling stories about the iconic characters. Let me get rid of that advert there. It's annoying me. So during a Morgan Stanley conference in March, Iger stated, quote, what we have to look at is that Marvel is not necessarily the volume of Marvel storytelling, but how many times we go back to the well on certain characters. He elaborated, sequels typically work well for us, but do you need a third or fourth, for instance, or is it time to turn to other characters? There's nothing in the way inherently of terms of the Marvel brand. I think we just have to look at what characters and stories we are mining. Iger then declared, quote, and if you look at the trajectory of Marvel over the next 5 years, you'll see a lot of newness. He added, "Now we're going to turn back to the Avengers franchise, but with a whole set of different Avengers as an example." Yeah, but that's a great thing because trajectory of the Marvel over the next 5 years, you'll see a lot of newness. That's great. That's exactly what we need to keep the Avengers franchise, well, the Marvel franchise, fresh. You know, we want to see new characters, we want to see new superheroes, new powers, new stories. Storytelling that we haven't seen before. The superhero genre is, it's very oversaturated in the movie marketplace, and we've seen movie after movie after movie now, and it's been like the last 15 years of superhero movies, and people are beginning to get a bit fatigued with it. So we want to see something fresh, something new, and something exciting. Obviously, like with the Blue Beetle movie that just came out, it was kind of the generic superhero movie. We've seen it 100 times over at this point. It wasn't a bad movie by any means, but it's just the fact that people have seen it 100 times over now, and it's kind of, we want something new and something different. Yeah. So what do you make of this new rumor that both Waldron and Loveness have been removed from the Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty? Yeah, guys, so it looks like the writers have been taken off. Disney, like I say, Disney might not have been happy with the scripts that they were writing out. And, they're well within their rights to do that if that was the case, because obviously they want to set the quality standard. And if they're not happy with the scripts, what they were writing, or they just want a fresh take and or go in a different direction, then that's completely fair enough. I don't see any problems with that whatsoever. So guys, jump into the comment section. Let me know what you think about this news, about the two writers being removed from these Avengers properties. What do you have to say about it? Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.